Okay, I'm gonna be honest. My goal here is to completely ruin your relationship with your paycheck. But trust me, it's in the best possible way. Because in this explainer, we're gonna dig into how that very thing we're all taught to chase, financial success, might actually be the cage that's holding us captive.
And this quote, yeah, it gets right to the uncomfortable truth of it all. See, we've all been sold this story, right? That a good salary is the ultimate goal, like it's the finish line of success. But what if that's not the case? What if it's actually trapping us, tricking us into trading away our most precious, non-renewable resource, our time, for a bunch of stuff we don't even have the time to enjoy?
I know, it sounds completely backward, doesn't it? Getting poorer the more you earn? But stick with me, because over the next few minutes, we're going to show you exactly how this happens, and more importantly, how to flip the script. We're going to talk about moving away from just chasing money and toward a much, much richer goal, achieving something called time affluence. And all that really means is having the feeling that you have enough time to do what you truly want to do.
So let's define this thing. What exactly is the salary trap? Well, it's that cycle, the one where we trade the only currency that actually matters, our roughly 30,000 days on this planet, for pieces of paper. It's this really subtle deception where the promise of financial security, it just slowly eats away at our actual freedom. All right, first things first, let's expose the biggest lie your pay stub tells you. You probably think you know what you make per hour, right? But that number, it's hiding the real story. It's not telling you what your time is actually worth. And that brings us to this concept of the true hourly rate. Now, this isn't just your salary divided by the hours you're sitting at your desk. No. It's your salary divided by every single hour your job consumes. I'm talking about the commute, the extra hours you stay late, and yeah, even the time you spend just de-stressing on the couch so you can get up and do it all again tomorrow. The math here is actually shockingly simple, but it will completely shift your perspective. You take your annual salary, and then you have to get brutally honest about the hours. Don't just count 9 to 5. You got to add that hour-long commute each way. Add the 2 hours you spend checking emails at night. When you divide your salary by this real number, well, the result can be pretty sobering. Just look at this table. It illustrates the point perfectly. On paper, person A is totally winning, right? Making 6 figures. But when you factor in those brutal 80-hour work weeks, their true hourly rate plummets to about $24 an hour. Now look at person B. Earning less, sure, but only working 30 hours a week. Their time is worth almost double, around $45 an hour. They have the one thing person A can never, ever buy back: their freedom. So the big question is, why do we do this? Why do we willingly stay in this trap? Well, it turns out our brains are kind of hardwired for it. Let's dive into the psychological reason we keep running, something called the Hedonic Treadmill, or as you see here, the happiness treadmill. And this is a cycle most of us know all too well. You get a raise, and what happens? Your expenses magically rise to meet it. You get the bigger house, but now you've got more to clean and maintain. You get that fancy car, and now you've got something new to worry about. All the while, your brain just keeps dangling that carrot, promising that real happiness, oh, it's just one more promotion away. But here's the thing. Here's the scientific proof that it's a lie. Neuroscience actually shows that whether you experience something amazing, like winning the lottery, or a major life setback, your brain is incredibly good at just returning to its baseline level of happiness. And it does this in about 6 months. We're just running faster and faster on a treadmill that literally isn't going anywhere. So the crucial point here is this. We're all chasing a destination that doesn't even exist. True, lasting happiness, it's just not something you can buy with a bigger salary. It's a byproduct of things that, ironically, are often free. Personal growth, meaningful work, and real, deep connections with other people. Okay, so if chasing more money for more things is a trap, then what's the alternative? This is where we stop just talking about the problem and actually start building the solution. And you know what? It's surprisingly simple. It's all about fundamentally shifting what you buy. It's about prioritizing experiences over objects. In this comparison, it just breaks it down perfectly. Objects, right? Like a new watch or a car, they start losing value the second you buy them. They just create clutter and worry. But experiences, they do the complete opposite. They actually appreciate in value over time as you retell the story. Seriously, think about it. Do you remember the exact price of the phone you bought 3 years ago? Probably not. But do you remember the feeling of that spontaneous road trip? You bet you do. Your memory isn't a documentary. It's more like a storyteller, making that trip or that concert even better over the years. And get this, experiences can actually expand our perception of time, making life feel longer and so much richer.
And that's really the core message here. We need to completely redefine what wealth is. It's not about how much stuff you can pack into a garage. It's about how many rich memories and amazing stories you can collect in your mind. That's a portfolio that will never, ever depreciate.
All right, so we've pulled the problem apart. Now let's talk about this is it. This is the key. Living below your means, it isn't about depriving yourself. Not at all. It's about giving yourself the ultimate luxury, options. Having that financial margin, that buffer, is the space that lets you say yes to a spontaneous trip or a new opportunity. And maybe even more importantly, it lets you say no to a toxic job without being terrified. It means you could take a lower paying job that actually fulfills you, or, take 6 months off to learn a new skill. That margin is the busser that saves you from what I call career quicksand, that awful feeling of being stuck in a job you hate just because you can't afford to leave. Life can be laughably simple, but we just love to complicate it with what some people call expensive noise. So how do you find the signal in all that? Well, look at your own life and try to identify your vital 20%. That's the small handful of activities, relationships, and purchases that bring you like 80% of your joy. Here's a little challenge for you. For just 1 week, track every single dollar you spent. Then at the end of the week, highlight what gave you genuine energy and what was just noise. The whole goal is to cut the noise and double down on what truly, truly matters. And this all leads to the final crucial mindset shift. Stop being the CEO of a life you don't even like. Stop trying to micromanage and optimize a life that doesn't actually make you happy. Instead, I want you to step back and become the architect, the designer. Start using your salary as a tool to build a life of intention, a life that's actually worth living on your terms. You've got the manual now. So I'll leave you with this. Take a look at your expenses, look at your calendar, and just ask yourself this one simple question. What is one piece of expensive noise you can cut out right now? Not to restrict yourself, but to buy back the only currency you can never, ever earn more of, your time. It's a simple question, but the answer, well, that could change everything.